So this is a short video on how to make chord changes more efficiently and quickly. So I'm going to show you some tips to make it so you can change your chords very quickly, very efficiently with the least amount of movement possible. That's the main thing. So we'll look at a few different things to show how to take away extra movement, make your movements the most efficient. And when we do that, then your chord changes will be the best. So let's start with, we'll do example G to B minor. So the first thing that you want to check is you want to make sure that your fingers are going exactly to the right spot that they need to go. And that might sound kind of obvious, but a lot of times what happens is fingers make extra movements in between. So here's the starting point, here's the ending point, but there might be extra movements in between. What you want to have is, if you watch my fingers, they're literally only going right to the spot. You can see they're only going right to where they need to go. And if you contrast that with what often happens when people are learning how to make chord changes, is their fingers will kind of sometimes go like that to a neutral position and then to the chord, almost as if they're starting on the main chord and then it's like everything's kind of going to a neutral and then it comes. So that's going to add extra movement. So if I were to do that, see, that makes extra movement there. You don't want that. So here's what we'll do. So do one finger at a time. We're going to take a mental note of each finger and see where that finger needs to go. That way when we're practicing the changes, we'll be able to keep that in mind, so we'll be able to see if our fingers are actually going an extra place that they don't need to go and making extra movement. So the middle finger, let's see, for this example, middle finger is going from right here straight down to the second string. Okay, so make a mental note. Middle finger, all it does, goes straight down to the second string. Okay? Second, let's look at the first finger, the pointer. Pointer finger, let's see what that's doing. Oh, okay, so that's just becoming the bar. Okay, so make a mental note. Pointer finger just coming down to be the bar. And then ring finger, let's see, ring finger just goes over and up. Okay, so ring finger's over and up. Then pinky finger, over and up too. Okay, so there, I noticed the ring finger and the pinky finger are both doing the same movement, over and up. So they kind of follow each other, so you can keep that in mind. So we have a mental note of what each finger's doing. And then when you're practicing your changes, now that you have an idea in your mind of where each finger does need to go, you'll be able to see if it's doing something else. So for example, if I go like this, and my middle finger comes out here, it's like, no, wait a minute, it's not supposed to do that. It was supposed to just go right down to the second string. And then you can check other fingers, and if you're practicing the change and say my pointer finger maybe it kind of goes like that and then comes down, then I can be like, I can notice that because I remember I made that mental note. Oh yeah, the pointer finger is only supposed to just come down flat. Okay, so you take a note about where all the fingers are going and make sure they only do that. And then another thing is you want to make sure everything changes at the same time. So even if you have all the right finger movements, you might be moving one finger at a time, even if it's quickly, one right after the other, but that's not going to work well. So for example, if I did this, you might see someone who's learning to make the chord change, the pointer finger come down, and then the middle finger, and then the ring, and then the pinky finger, kind of like that. And they might be doing it really fast, do-do-do-do-do-do-do, like that. Everything kind of comes one right after the other, but that's still going to make the change slower and less smooth and efficient, because one finger is coming right after the other. You don't want that. What you want is every finger changing at the exact same time. So when the pointer finger is coming down, the ring finger and the pinky are going over, and the middle finger is also coming down, all at the same time. That's another thing. So then once you've got those down, then when you're actually practicing, you want to make sure that you only focus on what you actually need to practice. So you learn more efficiently if you take out all the extra stuff. So on your right hand, don't do any strumming, don't do any rhythm, just do a down strum. Okay? So you just do, since we're doing these two chords, G to B minor, all we're going to do is strum once on the G, strum once on the B minor. And that's all you're going to do. Strum once on the G, strum once on the B minor, because then your mind has less to work with, so it can really learn the part that you're trying to learn faster. And So you're going to do it that way, and then you're going to do it at least 5 times, ideally 10 times in a row. That's the fastest way to make your hands learn that new movement. So you do 1, that counts as 1 movement. There's 2, and that's 3. So you do 5 to 10 of those. And if you practice that way, it's not going to take too long. It took a little bit longer here because I'm explaining how to do it, but once you're doing it on your own, it doesn't take long to figure out where each finger needs to go, to make sure that their fingers are happening at the same time. And then once you got that, you just do it 5 to 10 times. It's not going to take you very long, but if you practice that way every time you practice, then it's going to make the changes faster and smoother, and you're going to learn it a lot faster.